Welcome back to Banner Saga, where we have some shitty morale, but not much supplies. So we'll do 1 day of rest. There's a market, so have a look. Stamp, will on rest, will on per turn. That's actually pretty good if we need the will. Absorb the light around it. Just +2 strength. Might not be too bad to have that in the back pocket. I'll take the obsidian ring, and then we need to be able to upgrade people, but let's spec out that obsidian ring. Who could use an obsidian ring versus what they have now? It's +2 strength. She has crit chance, which is sweet. Less aggro. Let's give you some strength. How about that, buddy? Ooh, 15% dodge. 10% dodge. If only you could sell items. That'd be great. 2 strength resistance, which is just amazing. But you get extra aggro. There's 3 armor. He's got just armor per turn, which is pretty good. Super break. Move plus some dodge. He's not high enough level. Need 10. And since we have some level 1, we'll just throw it at this guy, whatever it is. Cool. Alright, I think we're pretty much good to go. Just look at the map before we leave. See if my eastwardly prediction earlier on was correct. Yep. So it'll be the high pass. Then, not content to stop in Strumland, a man named Sten hoped to find a land as rich as Aberang along the new coast. Instead, he found bog. All the way up the coast he went, until ice covered the trees. This is far enough, said Sten, and he stopped in Skogr, which is where we actually started. So we went all the way around here just to get turned back and come around to here. Let us go. It's intense. Look at that, shouts one of your clansmen. The caravan stops to watch dredge pooling into the village you just passed through. I hope anyone who stayed behind got out alive, says Alette, but you have your doubts. They're coming, says Ivor, pointing out a line of dredge leaving the village and marching toward you. As you watch, the dredge in front falls over, then the one behind it falls as well. You hear a twang to your left. Nid, the archery student of Oddleaves, who you recall deftly shooting a snow rabbit, is firing arrows down the hill. Another dredge topples. That's incredible, says Oddleaf, squinting, but we should get out of here. She's right, let's go. Return to the village looking for survivors. Hold on, let her do a few more. Go for it. The next shot bounces off the armor, but the one after that doesn't, and the Colossus falls to one knee. Another dredge goes down before you get moving again. Why don't you come along next time you want to try out that bow? You tell her, who nods with a smile on her face. Yeah, so we had a cool Legolas moment. And 4 days of supplies. Not good. A boy has gone missing from the caravan, along with a good number of supplies. The boy's younger brother begins to sob. Some men in the woods said we had to give them food or they'd kill us. And don't tell nobody, my brother went over there, he points. Lead a search party, lead a war party, try to make a trade, send your... No, this is a war party. Fuck that shit. 2 groups, 1 on each side, you instruct. They head out as you try to calm the parents. Much later, the fighters return, bloody and with the boy's body. We cut them down, says an archer, but we couldn't save the boy. Got our supplies back. Like, there's no messing around when we got supplies this low. It's like... Is this something? Yep, another Godstone. Oh, it's gonna line up, isn't it? Wonderful. The godstone of Dundr passes around you. In the frozen climates here, it looks like a rock is split and falling apart, held together only by the deep snow. Curiously, when standing between the stones, the wind drops off completely, picking up once again once you've passed through. I almost wonder if we should rest here for the night, says Ivor, who seems to have noticed the same thing. With all the snow around, Dredge might not even be able to find us. Inspect it, but move forward. Get back on the road without stopping. Let's stay. You walk around the camp before settling in. Along each strand of Dundr's massive beard is carved a different part of his story, and you turn your head to and fro to read it. While the Loom Mother was the first to create, she soon found a counterpart in Dundr, who embodied her ideals in a masculine form. Dundr took some of her creations, gave them beards, and showed them the secrets of smithing, though many remember him just as fondly for teaching them games and songs of mirth. Good, morale? Lost supplies? But we're all inclined. As the camp settles in, you notice a group of boys huddled around something. They show you an offering box carved into the godstone itself. The box is an elaborate construction of interlocking pieces which slide around when touched. We can't get it to open, they tell you. It's like a puzzle. Try to open it. Of course, boys take turns working out the puzzle and give you tips when it's your turn, though you don't seem to make much progress. Eventually they leave to sleep until it's just you and a couple other determined youngsters. Keep working on the puzzle box, damn it! It's hard to know how long you spend sliding around the smooth puzzle pieces, but when people begin emerging from their tents, you know you're in trouble, exhausted from a long sleepless night. Worse still, the box remains closed as you shuffle wearily along with the leaving caravan. Oh, we're fucked. Rob supplies. A trail of blood leads to a clearing where you find a large, wounded Varl. He is gnawing on his shield, swearing at no one in particular, and occasionally slamming his cudgel on the ground. If not for the heavy bleeding, you'd leave this one alone without a second thought. There's no food medicine to leave. We can help you if you want. Try to have healers tend his wounds. Abandon the Varl. We can help you if you want it. In a heartbeat, the Varl is on his feet and swinging his massive weapon. You jump clear as the cudgel smashes through the trunk of a tree. Your party scatters to avoid the falling timber. Once you recover, the Varl is long gone, leaving only another trail of blood, which you decide against following this time. Harkstrop. We might have some starvation before we get there. We should rest in camp to recover morale. Morale has become poor. In the distance, Harkstrop smolders like an old campfire. Even from here you can see black figures shambling through it. That looks like a dead town, remarks Ivor, confirming your impressions. There's usually survivors, Oddleaf reminds you. We need to check it out for supplies. I hope others would do the same for me. Dredge are nothing we haven't faced before. Ivor grunts but otherwise says nothing. Besides, it might throw Bellower off the scent a bit. You had a day's march out towards Harkstrop. Horrible morale. As soon as you step foot in the small town, you think you've made a mistake. It's thoroughly littered with corpses. Within moments, the dredge are upon you as you are stirred up an angry hornet's nest. You draw your weapons. We just need food. Quite honestly. He should be more in the back of the order, quite honestly. So that he can do his healing job. Interesting. That's one down. Ouchies. So he'll come up there. So you just come straight right here. That's okay. Do your bloody flail. Okay, so they can get in range. That'll take them down a notch. And down you go. Promote. Huzzah. Just gonna have to go on the offensive here. I think this is my chance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out 2, up 1, 2. I'll go here just to be extra clever. Arc lightning here. High level, sweep across. Nice. Okay, good. That's enough. Use that bloody flail. Oh, he's going for a kill shot. Nope. Yeah, the armor doesn't help things. Ouch. Alright, take care of it. 2 renown. Very good. Oh, he's on the brink. But we got it. We're in horrible shape. Nothing but ghosts, now covered in more dredged bodies. You're about to leave, you find an old man sitting quietly in a tattered market stall, with a couple items in front of him. He hums to himself as if nothing were wrong and seems to be in shock. Your clansmen gather him into the caravan before you leave. So the market exists here. Protects from death, knockback, never deflected, 10% crit chance. Yeah. We're taking everything. We need at least a rest day. I don't know if we've ever spoken. I'm Nid. You're Rook, I know. We've actually been traveling together for a long time. Isn't it strange how you can be so close to people and not know them? Every day I pass people I swear I've never seen before. I wanted to thank you for letting me join you. Where are you from? I don't think you're from Skoger. I know most of the people there. No, I had a house in Frostfeller, but we were driven out when the dredge started to show up. My husband died trying to protect our home. My sons and I were thrown out into the fields. I'm sorry. Ekiel's men killed my husband. Now Ekiel is traveling with us. For a long time I was angry. Why did he get to live? Why did you decide for the rest of us? You look away momentarily, not sure what to say. But I've let it go. I have 3 sons, and I don't want them to grow up with hatred in their hearts. That's why I wanted to thank you. Have you always been such a good shot? Honestly, I never even tried before Audley made me. I spent my whole life making clothes, cleaning. Oddly good, but I don't think it was all her doing. It feels right. I just look where I want to go. Anyway, I feel better. The caravan, the people worrying all day and making problems. Sometimes they really stew in their misery. I'm glad I could do something helpful. You're welcome. I should be going. Don't think anything of it. We all have our own problems to deal with. Let me know if you need me to put an arrow in something. She returns to her tent, where her boys are waiting for her. A fine addition. I wonder if she has, like, slag and burn on her stuff. Let's give her a check. Or one renowned short. I should have bought one less supply, probably. She's a bowmaster. What does that mean? That's just her backstory. She gets bird of prey. It's just extra range. I don't know about extra range. And her stats better, potentially. 8, 10, 12, 3, 2, 8, 10, 12. About average. She just has range, which it could be okay, like an early round. Though he's low level, so he might promote. Yeah, he does, and he needs it. All right, that's nice. Oh, he can promote again. 15. See, we're making our way in the world today. A mother's screams flood the caravan. Her daughter lies dead in a tent. We all know who did this. She spits, staring directly at the woman she scuffled with previously. Murder over a marriage in these times? Something must be done. The accused woman remains silent. Leave it to a vote. Discourage violence. We have to investigate. A healer joins you in inspecting the young girl's corpse. An old infection, says the healer. No punctures, no choking, no poison. She died of disease. We report the news to the caravan. The mother admits that she had always known her daughter was ill, and everyone moves on. Close call. Oh, is this something? Another godstone, maybe? Yep. Alright, so this is like redhead chick, freckles, and a tome thing, so like a knowledge god, perhaps? The godstone for Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes a much-needed rest. Ivor shoos some children away from a solitary dredge slinger lying dead beneath the stone. Should we be worried about that, you ask Ivor, pointing to the dredge body. I don't think so, he replies. Still couldn't hurt to have a few guards look around. Hours pass without warning. Inspect, always inspect. Ingrid's godstone is carved with ancient runes which don't make much sense to you, though Ivan tells you some of the menders have deciphered them. It's how the menders learned the language of the gods. Past the largest stone, a long series of slabs contain more writing all the way down the hill. The odd thing, he tells you, is that the writing occasionally changes, depending on who is reading it. Usually it describes the history of the gods, but it can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Ivan doesn't know how to read it himself. Juno could, he says. Oh, morale, yes. As you're readying to depart, you hear screams from near the main godstone. The same boys so curious about the dead dredge before are shrieking and pointing. For a moment you think it must not have been dead, but then you see that they have opened a wrapping that was in the dredge's hands. Wait, says Ivor, his arm across your chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get away, everyone. A chill sweeps over you. Alette pushes past the gaps. Stop! Shouts Ivor, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. Will we see it? Or will it be described? Leave it. On the ground before the dead slinger is a small stony figure, its hands searching for something it can't find. That's a baby. That dredge is a woman? We've been killing women. We've been slaughtering women and children this whole time? Leaving them to die? It's a war. It's only the males who fight in a war. We've been fighting these dredge the whole way. Why are women with children on their backs attacking us? They're not invading. They're running. Everyone stops dead in their tracks. The entire caravan is gathered around, aghast. When I spoke to Juno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what. A darkness, something black is covering the world, and the dredge are running from it just as we're running from them. The serpent, the quake, it's all the beginning of the end. Iva, you knew? Why? Why didn't you say something? Iva? When I was young, I killed one of the Dundr during the Second Great War. We call it raise. Every time we build our defenses, it would flatten them and push us back again. I became separated from the rest of the Varl and stumbled upon Raise deep in a snowstorm, alone. She was nursing. I threw my axe. It twisted in the wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed a Dundr. When I found my way to Grolfheim, the Varl wanted to make me Kender, next to be king. I left, walked until I ended up in Skogr, where no one knew what I had done. The only sound is the wind blowing through the trees. For a long time, nobody says a thing until a child breaks the silence. What do we do with the baby? She asks. A lump forms in your throat, looking at the small obsidian creature squirming before you. Let's take it with the caravan. As crazy as it sounds, you argue strongly for showing mercy and humanity. Some of the women in the caravan hesitantly agree to take in the dredge infant, while others are furious about bringing it along. Not long afterward, one of the women comes to you. Its swaddling was being held by this, she says, giving you a hairpin that looks distinctly undredge-like. An inscription on the silver almost slips your notice. Persevere, from the goddess herself, if you ask me, the woman tells you. Sweet, we get a silver brooch. Success. Perhaps we will gain knowledge from what has happened. Oh man, we're in bad shape. Oh, we're in very bad shape. We don't have the supplies to chill, though. You're making the usual rounds when you hear a rather loud debate coming from the area that Varl have gathered. Ivor joins as you approach. And we'll get to that in the next episode, so catch y'all then.